Scene two is keeping on track with people and activity. And I've asked Rosemarie because she is doing so much everywhere. And I know she has a special pad that she uses to keep track. I would love to have Rosemarie share with us now how you keep track to make life easy. Please share with everybody what you do.
Okay, thanks, Jenny.
Welcome.
Actually, I do have a lot of contacts because I've been kind of all over the place just within the last 6 weeks. So the only things that you really need is you need a notebook and you need a date book. And so I decided that my date book was too small to track what I wanted to track. So I created my own date book. It's not perfect yet, but on one side, the left-hand side, starts out with gratitude for the day and then notes after I have spoken with people. The other side is to-do list. So I have 3 personal and 3 business to-do lists, and then personal phone calls to make. They could be to my team, just different phone calls I have to make. Acknowledging birthdays on Facebook, which is important to do every day, and orders that I personally have placed and received. And then I have another column that is just for the leads that I have. So it's contacting people like my guest Karen tonight, and other people that I have met along the way, whether it was at an event or elsewhere when I was out and about. So, you know, if you have to know where you're going, which is your goal, but you also have to track where you're at, because if you don't track where you're at, you're not going anyplace. It's just the reality of the situation. And it all boils down to the very first thing's belief. And so you have to ask yourself, do you believe in the company? Do you believe in the product? Do you believe in yourself? That's the biggest one. Do you believe in yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself truly, you're probably not going to be doing these things. And so Tommy said that moving forward in Super Patch is like a recipe. He referred to it as a box of cake with the recipe on the back. And so we have the recipe for Super Patch as well, but we have to be doing the tracking with it as well. So, if you were going on a trip and you're going coast to coast, you would have a map. You would have a map, you would have a list of hotels, you would know where restaurants were. So it's no different in Super Patch. You need to have that vision of where you're going and what you are doing. I listened to a Zoom from another group, and they had a really great tracking system. And it's called your income producing activity tracker. When you look at this income producing tracker, don't let it overwhelm you. There's a lot of stuff on here. And so just remember that you don't eat an elephant in one bite. You just take little bites at a time. So look at personal prospecting first. So here it says activity, the different activities that you would do. And then it has points, and then it has a code. Don't worry about the code. We'll explain that just a little bit later. But if you were to take this for a week and track your activity, you would be really surprised at how much you're actually doing. So, this adding a new contact, starting a conversation with the prospect, doing the balance assessment, inviting someone to a presentation, sharing one of the tools like Cher just talked about with sharing the John Brankus video. And I know we have many good tools to use in this business. Follow up after sharing product, register a new customer, register a new associate. That part of your income producing activity tracker is strictly all about you. It is strictly about you. Then we come to team duplication. So team duplication is your third-party validation. That's where you're, host a discovery meeting for one of your team members, help one of your team members register a new associate, recognize a team member's achievements, hosting a discovery meeting with a team member. So that's where the third-party validation comes in. And it's no different than a 3-way call. That's the third-party validation, because quite often our friends or family members are more apt to take seriously what somebody else says than what we say. So really, these first 2 are just strictly all about you. And you can see the way the point systems are registered, the importance of the discovery meetings and 3-way calls and holding discovery meetings. The next section is social media. And I know that scares a lot of people, but a lot of people are developing their whole super patch business from social media. But it's not always just about posting something about super patch or the benefits of super patch or somebody's testimonial. You need to brand yourself by posting some pictures of maybe your hobby, a vacation that you've been on, or your family, just to engage people to get them drawn to you. And when I mentioned birthdays earlier, if you go on every day, and this I've heard this several times, basically from Steve Schultz, is when he sees a birthday or an anniversary, or someone comments on his post that he hasn't heard from in a long time, he doesn't answer on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. He sends them a private message and he will ask them a question that does not require a yes or no answer. What are you doing to celebrate your birthday today? Or what are you doing to celebrate your anniversary? Questions that engage people more, that you can come back and create more of a conversation and getting into, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. What are you up to? And it just carries on from there. So, just publish your own story. You could get on and tell your own story about the what you've experienced with the benefits of a couple of different patches that you're using, and curiosity posts. So you could hold up just a patch, a REM patch, say, for example, and say, uh, who in here doesn't sleep well? And you'll get some comments for that. So personal development tonight, if you're on the Zoom tonight, you would give yourself points for being, this is personal development, because we get training, we get to meet other people, and we get to hear lots of other stories. So it is important, you have to motivate yourself. No one can motivate you. Motivation comes from within. So as I mentioned, there is a column that says code. So there is a second part to this chart. This is a way of tracking your points. So on the personal development, the first code was add, which was adding a new contact or prospect that you met. And so under add, you would put 2. So you can, and for every one that you meet, or a prospect that you add. And so each code is connected to one of the things that you would be doing on a weekly basis. So yeah, here we are, reply to a comment or message on social media, 3 points. Think about how many times you've done that today. And we were all encouraged, if you're doing the plank and push-up challenge, to support each other by making comments. So we can all make comments on everybody, but that's engaging yourself and helping other people as well. So as you can see here, and it's your business, so you move at the speed that you want to move at. Some people work a full-time job. Other people have other things on their plate that maybe can't move as quickly as they want to, but whatever you're doing, try to be consistent with doing that. So here it says slow or part-time, 50 to 100 points. Medium, constant growth, 100 to 200 points. Fast, full-time, 200 points. So I think this creates a really great awareness of where you're at, tracking your own personal activity. Because if you want success, you need to know where you're at with this. And following this chart and doing the activity will move you forward. And as Tommy said, it's a recipe. So we have a recipe. Let's assume everybody on the Zoom tonight is an active associate. Do you know what you have to do? What's the recipe for becoming a senior associate? Do you know that? Could you tell that to someone right now? Could you tell someone, once you're a senior associate, what you have to do to become team leader? And you can almost work it backwards, looking at the 2 sections in particular that are totally up to you, with personal prospecting and team duplication. Along with this, using this, and I love the date book that I've created. I do have some adjustments that I'm going to make to it. I run off a month at a time. And I've got it down now. I run off Mondays and Tuesdays and for the month, and just fill in the dates. And then as I'm talking to people or as I'm looking at my tracking list, I can put them in when I'm going to call them, when I'm going to send them a text or an email or what I have to send to them. Something else is very good that you can get in your back office is the Super Patch leads sheet. It's excellent, and I've used that as well. But for this one that we're talking about tonight, if you're a member of Patchination, and if you're not, ask your sponsor to invite you into Patchination, but you have to accept it within 24 hours or it will be declined. Go into Patchination and go to the Files tab and go down to Income Producing Activity Tracker, and that's where you'll find that. You know, if you want to move forward with your business, you need to know where you're at.